And just to give you a quick stat, the e-learning industry will be $325 billion by 2025. So like the time is now to get in on that. Like you have to think about it. So many people have kids, families, just other prior obligations, and it makes it easier for you to be able to take something in a digestible format and learn something to fill in the gap. Like maybe you are struggling with visibility or struggling with engagement and sales. So you can put this in the form of a course and teach somebody so they can get to that next step in their business or their life.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I'm so happy to have you here with me, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, then I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of ambitious and like-minded friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description or the show notes so that you can join our community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Google, you name it, okay? Wherever you are listening from, I want to say thank you. I just want to express gratitude for you taking out the time to listen to the Friends in Beauty podcast. And I also ask, wherever you are listening from, if you can please leave me a 5-star rating and review, comment, like, subscribe, share, whatever you have to do to let me know what you really feel about the podcast. I love to hear your feedback. Also, follow us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. What I've been doing lately is something called the Friends in Beauty Friday feature, where I spotlight different friends in beauty and their accomplishments. No matter how big or small you think it is, I want to shout you out and I want to celebrate you. So all you have to do is use the hashtag FIB Friday feature and tag at Friends in Beauty so I can see what you're up to and I can share it with the community. Also, share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your friends, your family, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared on the show. Share, share, share. Sharing is caring. And also, click the link down below in the show notes, too, to join the Friends in Beauty mailing list. I send out emails every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just with different tips and content. And also, on the mailing list, you'll be the first to know about everything Friends in Beauty. Now, in today's episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, we welcome Vee Kelly to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Vee Kelly teaches female leaders how to build a scalable brand from passion to profit through passive income and high-level marketing strategy. In this episode, I got a chance to chat with Vee about how she transitioned from being a makeup artist to being a business coach, also how she discovered her niche as a passive income expert, her 3-step process for creating a course, the common misconceptions that she has seen with people wanting to create passive income and wanting to create a course, and how you can also have her as your coach, and so much more in between. I was really excited to talk to Vee because we met virtually during the whole pandemic and everything, and I've heard so much about her. The aesthetic of her brand is beautiful. The tips that she gives on her Instagram is just priceless and impeccable, and I knew that I had to have her on the podcast to share her expertise because she has a lot of knowledge and she's helping a lot of people create passive income and to create that time freedom that they really, really need to, be successful and to live the life of their dreams. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this episode with Vee Kelly, and make sure you are ready to take some notes, especially if you are looking to jump into the passive income sector of business and to create a course. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Vee.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you here. I've heard so much about you. We haven't had the pleasure of actually meeting in person, but I've heard so much about you from Atara. So I knew that I had to have you on the show to like share your expertise and everything that you're doing. But before we jump into the interview, I want to start off with some icebreaker questions so we can get to know you a little bit more outside of what you do as a coach. So the first one, give us 3 random facts about you.
Okay, well, most people don't know I have 4 children.
Ooh.
4 children. And I got married during COVID.
Wow.
And let me think, what's the last one? And I love a good lip sync battle.
Okay, that's right. I
Those
love
are
that.
yes, yeah. Um, but yeah, my 4 kids, I have a 2-year-old, a 13-year-old, 2 13-year-olds, and a 10-year-old. So yeah, the house is live.
You have twins.
No, 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 no. So when I got married to my husband, he had 2 children already. So my bonus sons, yeah.
Yes, okay. I love that. Love that. Uh-oh. Put that. Can't have that. So share with us, what is your superpower?
Hmm. I don't helping people. Like I love helping people.
Mhm.
And I've just always been one of those people that were like really good with tech. So, when I started out, like everybody would ask me like, what apps are you using to do this? And that always came natural to me. So I definitely am a tech nerd on the low.
Awesome, awesome. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from, business and marketing, coaching?
I would have to say, I mean, of course, makeup. Like I've never been like super crafty. Like my sister and my mom inherited that. They do like baby showers,
Hmm.
diaper cakes, interior design. I'm just like makeup over here just with the makeup. So that's definitely like my go-to. Yeah.
That's cool. So this is a really, really random one that I love. So would you rather travel to the past to meet your ancestors or travel to the future to meet your descendants?
Definitely like the journey that I'm on now, ancestors for sure. Like, girl, I'm on this whole like inner healing journey. So I'm like, listen, give me the tea. What was it like? So that would definitely be more intriguing for me right now.
Right. I'm really intrigued too. I'm on a journey too, so I'm really intrigued and really curious about my ancestors as well because, for a lot of us we can only trace back but so far. So I'm really curious to know, you know, who these people were down the line.
Yes, I know, I agree.
Also, if you weren't a coach right now, what would you see yourself doing if you weren't in this industry?
Um, hmm, I wouldn't mind being a therapist. Like, I naturally like it always, that go-to friend, like, girl, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And I always have like an enlightened approach to it. Like I love solutions and solving people's problems. So I'll be a therapist, honey, making me a good old coin.
I love that too. And it's so funny you say that. We have a lot in common. I say that all the time. Like if I could do it all over again, I always say I would either be a dermatologist because I love like Dr. Pimple Popper and like all that stuff. I would totally do that, extraction, or I would be like a psychiatrist or something like that because I just love helping people. People always seem to come to me too for help or for advice, and I always offer a totally different perspective than what they have and everything. So
Love that. I
I
love
definitely
that.
do that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I learned a lot about you just now. The 4 kids got married during COVID. Like that's amazing.
Girl.
Oh my gosh. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I want to know all about your coaching business and everything that you do. So how did you get started as a business coach?
So I started off, of course, doing makeup, right? And I wanted to branch out a little bit because I felt like it was so restrictive. Like I knew that I wanted to kind of step behind the chair. So I knew that I had to kind of get into like educating and like people, what do people want to learn from me? And
Mhm.
I kind of slid off into the influencer realm for a minute. But what kind of got me back on track was I would get a lot of requests for like, V, how do you do all these templates and branding and like your before and after videos? So I knew a lot of apps. So that's how I kind of started out and broke out. I made an ebook and I like showed all these apps that I was using to edit my work and like do my videos and stuff like that. And I kind of found a niche within doing like templates for people's social media. So I was like, this is branding, rebranding your IG with V, and like literally the name stuck. I just branched off and I started doing that way before I even hired a coach and like quote unquote became a coach. So I kind of started with Instagram strategy, and then done for you services is a whole nother ball game. So, we're going to talk about that a little later on, but like done for you services is a whole nother ball game. The long term of it can be very taxing because it's you, right? And unless you decide to do an agency. And I didn't see myself going down that way. So it was like, okay, I'm going to stop doing the templates and I want to take this a little bit more serious and see how I can just help women like step into their power. That's really what it was about. So that's kind of how rebranding your IG came about.
So how long were you doing makeup? Do you still do makeup?
I do take appointments like here and there. I want to, my goal is to be done by the end of the year, taking appointments fully, just because I feel like I've kind of reached the end of that chapter. So it's just more of a thing like if I'm going to show God I'm serious about stepping to that next level, then I kind of have to slowly wean off the makeup. So I'm just kind of handling like final commitments throughout my bridal business. So that's kind of where it's at. But I'm definitely seeing like the end of this year, it's like, yeah, coming
Awesome.
to it.
So how long have you been in the coaching sector now?
So the coaching world, 1 full year in
Mm-hmm.
September 16th made it a year. So I've grown so much in that time frame because right off the bat, I hired a coach. Like after I finished the whole like branding and graphic design and brand strategist, I was like, let me see where I can take this. So the first coach I hired helped me with that visibility because that's so important in social media. Like you need to be visible, you need to be building relationships, and I knew a lot about Instagram. So that's even like how me and Atara connected because I like it was one thing to find somebody that was good at makeup, but find someone else that loves like all things Instagram like you. So it was a market for that. So just kind of building connections around, okay, how can we stand out? How can we learn about this algorithm? So that's kind of how I got started in that aspect.
Okay. So since you've been a year strong now, what are some of the highs and lows that you've experienced of being a coach?
The highs for sure impacting other women, like just helping them step into their power because I tell people all the time it's less about me coaching them per se. It's more about just giving, like providing them with the confidence to see that it's possible. I always say it's important to have representation in any industry. When you see another brown woman doing things like just stepping out on faith, following her passion, right?
Yeah.
And just going full throttle, like you just don't know where that can end up, right? And then a low for me would definitely be the comparison. If you're not careful with the online space, it's easy to fall in that comparison role. You're like, well, why is my timeline not the same as hers? But you don't know what they had to lose or gain to get there.
Got you. Thanks for sharing that. That is so true. A lot of us go through that as well. But it's really important to just have that tunnel vision a lot of the times and not worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on becoming the best that you are, for sure. Whew. So how did you go about switching over from, I guess, like doing the Instagram and the templates to focusing on passive income in particular?
Um, okay, so I love teaching, like genuinely love teaching, but I also value my time. So passive income was like literally just a bridge to gap that because one, if being a smart businesswoman, it's like, okay, how can I package this and teach this from a one-to-many model? One-to-one coaching is great all day long, but then again, I'm now in that zone of my business where I want to simplify and I want to scale because longevity is the game. Longevity is the game. You got to have what's the long term goal, right? One to one is not scalable. So that's how I kind of found it. I got to create a course in my sleep. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how the passive income came about for me. And like, I know it was like no looking back. I'm like, I got to put everybody on game. Everybody passive income is it. And just to give you a quick stat, The e-learning industry will be 325 billion by 2025. So like the time is now to get in on that. Like
Yeah.
you have to think about it. So many people have kids, families, just other prior obligations, and it makes it easier for you to be able to take something in a digestible format and
Mhm.
learn like something to fill in the gap. Like maybe you are struggling with visibility or struggling with engagement and sales. So you can put this in the form of a course and teach somebody so they can get to that next step in their business or their life.
Right. So when we say passive income, we're particularly talking about creating something like one time and then just having it on like autopilot where people could just go pay and you don't have to do anything but collect your coins for real.
Yeah, and they call it sleep coins. But another thing too is because courses have such a bad stigma where people are like they just collect them, and don't do anything. I wanted to bring a fresh approach to that and kind of do like a hybrid course. That's kind of what I teach women because I feel like whenever people buy something, they're buying it because of you, right? So they want you included in it. I think it's still smart to like pre-record your content, but like have that element to make sure people need accountability and people want support.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you just do like monthly calls with them, it makes sense to just track their success because that course is still having to be, even though it's a one and done, there's maintenance that needs to go into it. You need to see like, okay, where there's some things missing for their growth, like maybe another template or some type of tracker or another training. That's definitely the upkeep of passive income. And it looks like different things. It looks like a course, a workshop, masterclass, webinars, all of those are passive.
Right, right. Got you. So how do you I guess instruct people to go about choosing whatever course topic that they want to, go with? Or do you recommend like if they have multiple gifts to create more than one, or should they just stick with one?
So I'm always like, have a focal point because here's the thing. Another thing I learned from the brand strategy world was in order to position yourself as an expert, you really need to master that one thing. That's another thing. Like I get women come to me all the time. They selling wigs, bundles, tea, and I'm like, baby girl, if it's not gonna be a lifestyle brand, this is gonna overwhelm your client because they want to know what you're really good at, right? So for me, I feel like as far as like discovering your course topic, that's going to take research and your personal experiences. People like sleep on that.
Mm-hmm.
Not too long ago, I actually worked with a coach that was literally a makeup artist before she became a coach,
Mm-hmm.
and she knew a lot about brand strategy. So she just knew my journey. And sometimes it takes that because when people are like looking to hire you or just looking to learn from you, when I know you've had similar experiences, when someone comes to me and they're in the hair industry or the beauty industry, I get the struggle because I'm like, I was there. So I get that you're burnt out. I get that you're tired. I get how your clients treat you. I get it. So
Uh-huh.
let's simplify that based on what you're telling me you need.
Right,
So
right.
just kind of finding that when I say research, ask your audience what they're needing. Like, what are they needing support in specifically? Where can you bring your expertise in? Because it's not about trying to give them all the things, but the things that you're good at and package that into some type of step-by-step process.
Got you. I love that. I love that. So what would you say are like the key components of creating that signature offer, that signature course that you're going to go with?
So give me a little bit more backstory. What do you mean when you say components?
So is there like a 1, 2, 3 step? Like first, should I brainstorm, see what all of my gifts are? Should the offer be like, cause the way that I was taught to do offers is like a stack. So like
Yeah.
that stacking it and then having the value. This is the value versus like, what you're getting.
Okay. So I developed a three-step formula around that. So I call it the plan, pre-sale, and produce. So it's like the course creation roadmap. So the first part about the planning is like outlining what you're going to talk about. I just use this as like a brain dump. You want to get from your audience, and I always say before you do the research, have a warm audience that kind of already trusts you. It's going to be more simple to kind of connect with them.
Mhm.
So initially, I was focusing on women that were struggling with their social media presence, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, within that, what are you struggling with specifically? Like, give me the breakdown by breakdown. So I'm like brain dumping, writing it out, and then I'm kind of filtering through to say, okay, their end goal is they really want to get confident enough to get on camera. Okay, so part one is like you need to practice, right? Not only practice, how do you view yourself? Because that's an important part of getting on camera. A lot of people like don't like how they look, don't like how they sound. So once we can break past those barriers and they can see someone else doing it like Girl, I did a story yesterday. I still do my mini trainings. My daughter's in my lap. She's yelling, smacking herself in the face. And I'm just like, after a while, it just gets so normalized. And I think it's also refreshing to see that you don't have to show up perfect. Like, people just want to hear your message, right? And always talk about something that you know about, that's going to be helpful or provide value to your ideal client's life.
Right. I love that you said that because a lot of people let the fact that their kids are screaming in the background or running around crazy like stop them from producing. But that's real life.
It's
As
real
real
life.
life, and it would definitely resonate with other moms, other busy moms who are in that position to actually show them like, hey, don't like when you have kids or you have kids around you. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I have clients that have their kids in the background. I'm like, girl, I totally understand. It's fine. Like put some Elmo on or Baby Shark or whatever they listen to, and it's totally fine. I love
No,
that.
yeah, that's so true. So after I plan it, then we do the pre-sale. So you want to again have like just a rough draft of what you're going to do, because here's the thing: people assume that you need to create the entire course before you can sell it. You can launch your course live, right? Like literally just you could do a 4-week
Yep.
beta test run just to see if people will actually like pay for this, right? And once you get people signed up and like they're giving you feedback, girl, go ahead and like add what else you need and then package it to the market.
Right, right. I love that. And I was going to ask you what the biggest misconception is with people creating courses, because I know for sure that is one of them. They always feel like everything has to be together at one time, and then not knowing that you can go week by week. Start off week by week, and then afterwards, then you package it as something that you can just have it stand alone, and then people could just it be on autopilot. Are there any other misconceptions you've seen?
I'm like, bingo. Also, that you need to be really tech savvy, because again, like this is the one thing that I'm infusing in my message more so, because I think that that is one of the things that stop hold people back. The tech.
Yeah.
I end up using $39 for a platform that you can literally host all your digital products on. So I'm like, for $39, you can create revenue in your sleep. My first course, and this was like not even promoting it heavy, was bringing in 4 figures. Like this is just passive income courses, low ticket courses, but I was very niche specific to know what my audience were struggling with.
Right.
So I was able to create courses from that. And it just starts small, and then you can build up.
What's the platform that you use for $39?
I use a platform called Podia,
Okay.
and it's super user friendly. Like, so I just like want to keep the process simplified. So I'm like, literally for $39, you can literally make your slides, upload them to the website, label them, throw some pictures up there.
Yeah.
It's not a detailed sales page. There are people out there making money now that don't have a website. Like, you just don't need that. You really need to know your stuff, right? Know how to articulate the value of it,
Mhm.
stand strong in your pricing, and like push it, like push through.
Like, thank you for sharing. I've never heard of Podius. I'm definitely going to leave that in the show notes for people to check that out. Awesome. What kind of courses have you helped some of your clients create so far?
So this is a fun question. So one of my clients created a course called Manifest Your Dream Man.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
she was a relationship coach, and it was really cool because initially she wanted to help single women. She wanted to help single women find the man of their dreams, but she was
Mhm.
engaged and about to be married. So, oh, let me go back. Sorry. She wanted to help married women find a manager. So I was like, let's kind of scale back a little bit, because what you're going to get hit with is like, well, you're not married. So, how can you show us? And I'm like, let's start where we are. And she instantly got the approval of these women, because they were like wanting to know how she at least got to the point of engagement, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, what storm did I have to go through? What things did I have to work out through self-love and communication and just reflection? So we were able to break down like, what were the steps that you had to go to get to this point,
Mhm.
right? Because after a bad breakup, there's a lot of rebuilding.
Oh gosh.
So that was amazing. The journey back to self worth. I've been working with a lot of relationship coaches, which has been really cool. And then there was another lady. She had a course called Cryptocurrency for Beginners, and it was all about investing and trading and forex. So, and I'm like,
Yeah.
here's the you can create a course on whatever, just like it's all about how you market it. They want to know your process. They want to know your personal experience with something. And people are always interested in saving time and making extra money.
Right, right. I love that. Yeah, I could totally see how the relationship sector would work because we out here struggling for the ones that's not married. I'm good because I got a boo, but for my friends, ooh, it's a struggle out here.
It's a dirty dating pool out here. I have a girlfriend that's single now. She's like, girl. And I'm like, hey, I know.
It's coming. Well, she got to enroll in that course, make something shake.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to like start scaling their brand by creating a course, do you recommend a particular like investment range for their offer to start with? Because I know just from experience, 'cause I did coaching and courses for a little bit. I need to, rev it up again. But I always see that people kind of gravitate toward they short sell them they short sell themselves a lot of times. They want to have a small investment. Do you recommend going for like a high ticket offer, or is it like a middle ground?
So, and you mean like more so from the course creator side? Like, should I start with a low ticket offer or a high ticket offer?
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is the thing. I always want you to go back to your goals, right? So for me, I love high ticket sales because, again, I've put the work into where I'm like, V, you could go as small as Instagram strategy, or you can go as big as like, let's scale this. Let's talk about ads. Let's talk about evergreen. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm always trying to go to the bigger route, right? So here's the thing. I'm going to give you two different scenarios. If you're going to be doing something, the bigger the ticket, the higher the transformation needs to be, just to clarify that. So the bigger the ticket, the higher the transformation needs to be. If you're going to do a Canva course, people may be only willing to pay $100 for that, if that, because there's so much on YouTube. There's so many free video trainings. Like, it's just not a lot of money that people are going to pay you for that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing a course for beauty pros looking to become an online coach, that's a bigger transformation because once you set somebody up for that type of stability, they can go on to make multiple 4 or 5 figures in their business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're willing to invest a little bit more. So I think that you really need to leverage what that end goal for is for your client is and what they're willing to pay for that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I love that. I love high ticket too. Just from doing like the math. And my old coach always used to say it's just easier to sell one person something for $10,000 than to try to sell like 10 different people. You know what I'm saying? So I love high ticket as well.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's just your mindset around it because it's like if you have confidence in your offer, then you really only need to sell like 1 or 2 clients a month to book that out and just know who you're talking to. And you got to just be consistent with it. Somebody's going to hear that, somebody's going to need it and need it in the way that you're teaching it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm always trying to like keep my ear to the streets and see what my clients are struggling with. And people always come back to me with the branding, visibility, confidence. So I'm like, let me make sure that's always a part of my brand in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when you're marketing the course, do you go the route of the phone calls, enrolling people on the phone?
You know what's crazy? So I like calls, but people are doing DMs. DM selling now. I'm very comfortable on camera, so I'll just either invite them to a sales call, or I have that application process as well. But I either invite them to a sales call, or just we sometimes I close sales in the DMs, which that's always a great thing too, especially if you're an introvert like me, where you're like calls drain you. So yeah, just finding out what works best for you.
I used to be struggling on those calls, and I've bounced around from so many coaching programs, hoping that it was going to be something different. Like, do I got to get on the phone again? I was like,
But
if
I
I
mean,
could pay somebody to do my enrollment calls, I would be good.
But you know what I found though, and I'm gonna give you another little plug. There are other ways that you can enroll people. Like I talk about a waitlist strategy as well, because I'm the same. I'm like, oh, if I don't have to get on calls, but I can still get people in. There's another front-facing way where you can sell to your clients and just get them on waitlist, and then let that background email sequence sell to them. So that's always a plus. But it's gonna really go back to what I see people do is like launch a course to a cold audience, someone that doesn't know them, doesn't trust them. So it's going to be harder. And what I find with high ticket, it's rare that you go and find somebody online and you're like, she looks like she knows her stuff. I'm going to give her $4,000.
Right.
So the sales calls almost like help solidify, like, hey, what do you need specifically? They kind of really need you to handle those objections for them. I think they already see the value in it when they're on the call with you, but it's like they need to just be, coached through their fears. And then they're like, okay, let's do this.
Right, right. I agree. Where have you seen most people drop the ball, like when it comes to marketing their course?
Definitely not doing proper research. and launch into a cold audience.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean specifically by that is like you'll say, "Oh, I see such and such did that, and I've been there. I've been there. I've seen such and such do that. So let me try it." And then it just falls on deaf ears because you're doing something that was profitable to somebody else because that's a part of their brand versus like, you're like over here, doing health coaching. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, let me sell this, this digital product about, I don't know, inner healing and mindset. Like it's just so left field. So definitely focusing on the audience that already trusts you. I always say that's the smartest way. And one thing you'll find, like just follow my page and working with me, I'm always looking for that shortcut to mastery. So, like I said, it's the smartest way to start out is focusing on the audience that already trusts you, figuring out what kind of support they're needing, and how can you plug in your knowledge and experience from that and create something for them.
Right, right. I love that. Another question just popped in my head. Because I know it's a lot of people who have tried to create courses before and maybe they didn't get the results they were looking for. Maybe they had a low enrollment or maybe it just didn't feel right. I have no idea. But what advice could you offer to those people who still want to offer a course, maybe the same one, but they kind of just got discouraged because it could be discouraging sometimes when you have this big grand goal and then you get one person to enroll or something like that, or maybe nobody.
Yeah, like so just in full transparency, my first course we got enrolled two people, right? And
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, this is not what I was expecting, but what I find out quickly is that even if you get one sign up, like show up for that one person because there's a process. Like you literally have to launch a few times to get those numbers that you see on social media. Sorry, those numbers that you see on social media literally are people who have launched 15, 20 times, built that momentum up. And it's actually a blessing with smaller numbers because again, you can see, and I'll tell you, it's never you as a person. It's always like, okay, your messaging could have been a little stronger.
Mhm.
Were you really committing to showing up those 4 to 5 days a week versus like two times here or there? You
Right.
may be posting more than once on Facebook. There's always something inner that the numbers didn't turn out the way that you wanted. Like just naturally with launching, you've got the hype in the beginning. It kind of lulls out in the middle, and then at the end, people kind of drag their feet last minute and like, do you still have that course of open? So that's just natural, and people don't talk about that enough. So if you don't get the numbers that you want, always just go back and see where you could have like upped your you know what I mean, like upped your process a little bit more, and just use that data and go do that next time.
Right. I love that because my old coach used to say everything is an hypothesis. And when he said that, it made total sense in my head because you just never know. Like you said, it might be your branding, it might be the copy, it might be I have no idea. So it's like you have to continue to just like tweak things little by little just to see what it is. And then before you know it, it's like a well-oiled machine just flowing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've had some trial and error. So I'm always like teaching my audience, like, yeah, so you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of too, like finding a way that works for you because launching can be very stressful because you're like having to like warm your audience up and tease things and like really fine tweak what the actual delivered product is going to be because you want to make sure your audience likes it. So I know for me, I'm always teaching how I learn, but some people can kind of drop the ball on that because they're just like talking to a camera like dead on, right?
Yeah.
But people want to feel like they're talking to a friend. So just, have some personality, just come across how you come across in real life because that is a part of your branding. That's why people buy into what you have.
Awesome. Awesome. So V, what are you working on your legacy to be?
Okay, so when I seen that question, I'm like, dang, I ain't got that far yet, but this is what I came. I was like, I definitely want to be a vessel to help women have access to just tapping into inner peace, clarity in their business, and making good money while they do it. Because I think that in order, like for me, this year has been such a transformation as far as like just tapping through money blocks, like our issues and our views around money and how much we can make and how much we can hold on to. And that alone for me was just like game changer. So
Mhm.
I'm always constantly talking about mindset and just like doing the inner work, right? Because business, one thing I learned about entrepreneurship is like, it's literally a journey to help you find your purpose, right? Just think about it. You get into business to serve your community, no matter what you're doing. If you are a doctor, a nurse, a coach, like
Mhm.
a virtual assistant, you're helping people, right? You're serving people. So you always want to tap back into your why. That's really what's going to keep you grounded and not so like now the imposter syndrome doesn't sneak up as much for me because like I don't want what they have, right? I know what I'm going for and that doesn't fit the mold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that helps out tremendously. So that inner work for sure. Clarity in your business, girl, is nothing better than like getting on a phone with someone and because I do clarity sessions. So it's nothing better than getting on a phone with someone and you like they're so in their head about something that's just not even that important. It's not important to their goal. And when you give them clarity, like, girl, just do this, like just tweak that. And they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's so fulfilling because if I can just get you to be like, all right, good, I figured that out. What's next? Right? Like the momentum just like builds for you. Um, and girl, making good money, okay?
Okay. I know,
Making a good point.
I know that's right. So I know after this episode, a lot of our people in the Friends and Beauty community are going to want to know more about you, your coaching. Like, how can they go about finding or getting coached by you, or getting a clarity session, even?
So I currently I'm on Instagram, Vee Kelly Coaching, and we rebranded. So Vee Kelly Coaching is the name, and you can click the link in my bio. My website is still the rebranding your IG with V, so definitely check that out. It's VEE and I have my 90-minute strategy sessions. I always like to say, if you want to get your feet wet and find out who I am and kind of what I'm about, but I do also offer one-to-one coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I focus a lot of my, like I said, my content around branding and selling and visibility. And then also, I'm working on a mastermind for 2021. And I want to focus on getting a group of intimate, like an intimate group of female entrepreneurs, just literally looking to simplify and scale their business. Because now as I'm on my journey, all the stuff that all these coaches are teaching, you just don't need all that. Like just show up as yourself. If you are really comfortable just being yourself and people already love what you do, it's just like, let me show you how to simplify that and scale.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I was going to ask you what's next, but we see what's next for your brand. You're going to be doing the mastermind and everything. So definitely look forward to hearing more about that for sure.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
You're welcome. So thank you for sharing all this information with us. This is an episode I know I'm going to listen back to for sure to catch those gems. But before you go, I have to ask you the Friends and Beauty rapid fire questions. So whatever comes to your mind first, you'll be fine. You'll be great. Just give it
Okay.
to me. All right. So the first one is, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
Hmm. Definitely dedication. Like I say, discipline, dedication. That has helped a lot because I think that because I know my why, my end goal, that makes me get up every day. Like I genuinely, if it's one person, I know one person will build to 10, 10 will build to 100. So just constantly showing up to show people that it's possible for you to follow your dreams. You don't need a lot. Like you just don't. Not asking for permission, not giving your power away.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of it, people don't start their businesses because like lack of trust, lack of support. You don't need it. Like you just need to trust yourself that you have what you need now and go full throttle and like get therapy in whatever form it needs to be. Like, girl, I hired a mindset coach so quick. And when I tell you, I will never like mindset is going to always be a part of my daily routine because it just keeps you grounded. Like, it's easy to slip up. And I mean, this is in business and in life, right? Just your personal relationships, like healing through your personal relationships. So definitely, seeking some type of therapy just to make sure you're good, right?
Yes. Love that. So how do you measure your success?
Hmm. How do I measure my success? It used to be how much money I make, but now it's just like I check in with myself and my self worth, right? I'm always worried about like, okay, is my cup full today? And I'll check. It could be like, I need to exercise. Have I spent enough time with my children? Like I'm more worried about the inner stuff now. So that's the piece that I'm trying to bring into my life and my business. So my self worth now is like, me, how are you feeling about yourself?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I love that. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Hmm. Let me see. Definitely being yourself. Like being yourself in this online space, because when you get into just anything like makeup artistry, anything, you feel like you have to be a certain way, and I think your clients love you so much better just seeing you in your authentic space, right? Authentic light. And for me, that was one of the biggest things. So it's like, this is the one place that I was able to show up online as I am. And like, people were like, oh, show us more. I'm like, they want to see the kids, they want to see the husband, they want to see everything. They want to know about the beauty, like the beauty background. So I think it's really dope that you can just show up as yourself and people are going to rock with you. You're always going to have the haters. You're always going to have that. But like, does that matter to the people that love you, the people
Right.
that support you? That's like a small piece of the game.
Awesome. What advice would you give to someone who's just ready to give up on their goals and dreams of being in the beauty industry?
I definitely say like it ain't over till it's over. But no, seriously, because there's another quote. Remember that quote? Atari posted it. Pause but don't quit.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that too is because don't quit, because what happens sometimes it's just a small pivot. Like, I got to a place where I was like, I'm really not liking makeup anymore. And I just didn't feel in integrity to continue to go like marketing and stuff, because I'm like, I need to treat my clients well. Like, I want to feel good. I want to show up, and they're excited for me. They're excited to see you. They're excited. They're excited for the look. They're excited to ask you questions. So I think that you really need to be doing something that you love. And if you're not anymore, take a break, check in with yourself and say, what's next for me? What do I want? What's next? What's the next level? So when I transitioned, that's kind of the question that I checked in with myself to see, like, what do you want to do? Like, I wanted to be expansive. So the coaching kind of was that next field for me.
Got you. I love that. What's a resource that's helped you in your business that you can share with the friends and beauty community?
Let me see. I think my project management tool, I'm like, that might be a good one for now. Like scheduling, batching, like any thoughts that come up. And I use that with my team too. So I have a virtual assistant and a copywriter, and she helps me with just like, she's just like my right hand. She'll like write stuff up, and I'm like, okay, this, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say this, but it just helps streamline things. And I think that this is another little gem in business. Women of color, we have such a hard time asking for help. And I'm no longer like, when I got into the coaching industry, girl, I'm like, I'm tired of YouTubing it. I'm tired of looking up articles, tired of trying to piece stuff together from a podcast and a course. Hire the help. Start small. Sometimes that's like Fiverr, and you need somebody to do your graphic design. If you're not good with templates and things like that, hire somebody to do that so you can focus your zone of genius in what you love doing. That's like the biggest gem I can get you. I write stuff down. I compartmentalize my days. Like, I'll have an admin day, I'll have days for calls, and I'll have hours built out of my day for self-care.
Right.
So yeah, I love, and the project management tool is called Asana, Asana.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard about a sauna. I need to check
Yeah.
that thing out. Stop playing with
Oh, I
my.
love it.
And the last one, I want you to fill in the blank. I want you to say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
Okay. All right. So my name is Vee Kelly, and the key to longevity and success is definitely checking in with your why. Like I said, going back to checking in with your why. It's really important to understand why you get up and do what you do every day. If it's to provide a great life for your family, if it's to, build wealth or give access to people who are, underserved, like just checking with that daily, and you can build upon that, right? Like, there was a article or something I read where it's like everybody has some type of activism that they're supposed to be doing in the world. Mine's is not on the front line standing out. I got kids, but I'm like, what other ways can I give back to my community? And for me, I really feel like, God has instilled in me this knowledge of just like using my voice, using my platform, showing up as myself to just show other women what's possible for them. So that's my form of activism for people.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for your time. This has been an amazing chat with you. I want to talk to you more, but I know you have stuff to do because she is a busy working boss. Okay. But before you go, tell us your social media and all of that again, and I'll leave it down below for everybody to check you out.
Yeah, so it's Vee Kelly Coaching on Instagram, and the link is in my bio for like my website, how to book me if you want to do a strategy call, if you want to learn more. My DMs are always open. Just to let y'all know, the Instagram stories is where the party's at. Toddler is always the best appearance. But yeah, like I'm all I love answering questions. So like I said, my DMs are open. That's where you can find me. And I thank you again so much today for having me.
Welcome. This has been great. So I'm going to let you go ahead and go about your boss life. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty. And subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.